My name's Dan Posthuma. I'm the president of Bluegate Musicals. My partner, Mel Rinksecker, introduced me back in 2010 to a genre of fiction I knew nothing about, Amish romance novels. Found them fascinating. People are fascinated by Amish people, how they live, how they approach life, the idea of simplicity and the beauty of that, and community and neighbors and all that. So I found these stories quite fascinating, and we came up with the idea to put some of them on stage as a musical. That's my background as a music producer, show producer. So I went to a couple friends of mine. First is a script writer by the name of Martha Bolton. She's very, very funny. And I wanted a lot of humor in these stories for the guys and the women. Met her in LA a long time ago. She was a head writer for Bob Hope and wrote comedy for many, many other well-known comedians. Strong Christian woman, loved these stories as well. Went to another guy, Wally Nason, who I'd worked with in the music industry for quite some time. Great songwriter and a director. So the three of us started to put these stories together to see how we could make them live on stage for musicals, stories that were enriching and humorous and captivating and family friendly and all that. So we started with a story called The Confession, written by Beverly Lewis, and it was a big success. We've had a lot of fun doing this for the last 10 years. For 2022, for Bluegate Theater in Shipshewana, Indiana, we have an exciting lineup. Three shows, I guess. The first is one of our favorites, a show that we opened up with some time ago called Half Stitch. Great story about a recently widowed Amish woman who's got some time on her hands, not sure exactly what to do, but she loves to quilt. She knows other people love to quilt. She put a little ad in the paper for quilting lessons, and she was expecting the women from her Sunday school class to show up. To her surprise, a most unusual cast of people come up for lessons, including a quarrelsome husband and wife that love each other, but they're trying to get their marriage to work right, and they think doing something together, craft together, would help them, including a biker who got in trouble with the law, and the judge said, you got to do something creative and good for society, go take a quilt lesson, so he's there. Young college girl, disillusioned, kind of angry at her parents, angry at life, trying to figure out where she fits in life. So, cast of people, learn the quilting. Unusual people, wouldn't find them together in any other circumstances. But Miss Emma is smart, and she knows that, yeah, they're here to learn about quilting, but they really need to learn about life. And she, with her Amish wisdom, opens doors for them and builds wonderful community within that class. Very funny, very entertaining, and very moving as you see these people transform through spending time together in this class. 2022, we have a brand new story. Martha Bolton came up with this idea of this Amish girl who's in a cheese retail store, and she sees a poster on the wall, support our military, write letters to men and women who are out there protecting our country. Amish are non-resistant, pacifists. She knows her father wouldn't like her doing that, but everybody in the store is doing that. She said, yeah, I want to do my part. So she just writes letters. She said, I'm not going to tell them I'm Amish. I'm not going to tell them I'm not. I just want to support, the people who are out there trying to do good things for our country. So, to her surprise, she starts getting a lot of letters back, including 3 guys that write back on a pretty regular basis. Army guy and a guy in the Air Force and a Marine. And the relationship kind of develops. She didn't tell him she's Amish. That's not important. These are platonic letters to support. But they kind of are drawn to her sweetness, her innocence, the purity of her heart. And they start getting kind of romantic in these letters, and she's not sure exactly how to handle that. But to her horror, she finds out that they're all taking leave on the same weekend, and they all want to come visit her. Not just visit her, but propose to her. And she said, this is not going to work at all. Number one, how do I keep them from finding out about each other, but more importantly, how do I keep my dad from finding out that these guys are coming to see me? So it is a very funny story of her, trying to handle a very difficult situation. And she gets her friends involved, and the head of the retail shop, who's a wise woman, trying to guide her through this mess that she created. And some beautiful things end up coming up from this mess with her relationship with these guys. And, the story in many ways focuses on the people that serve the country, people who put their lives on the line, put themselves in danger, and military people should be honored and should be supported in any way that we can. And so there's elements of, the question for her is, how does she do that, being an Amish girl? And we see a little bit of the character of these guys, what's really important to them, why they're drawn to do what they're doing, and how that leads to some challenges, but also some beautiful relationships. So Dear Soldier Boy has all the fun elements of humor and people in awkward situations and trying to figure out how they're going to handle this, and a lot of great music, a lot of fun USO kind of moments of dancing, and but also powerful emotional songs of budding love and those kinds of things. And it has all the hallmark of a great musical. You fall in love with the characters, and those moments of tension and moments of beauty lead to great melodies and great lyrics.
Awesome.
So we're going to finish the year with a little story called Our Christmas Dinner. Amish couple gets stuck in a blizzard. Their buggy can't get out of the ditch, so they walk to the nearest house and knock on the door. And there is a family getting ready to do their normal Christmas celebration. And family invites them in, and their relationship grows. The Amish people are trying to figure out what Christmas really means to this family, and this family is trying to figure out how the Amish celebrate Christmas. So we have not only clashes of cultures, but clashes of personalities. This Amish woman, her husband says, her problem is she says the first thing that comes into her mind. Not typical for an Amish person, you would think. Very kind of a smart aleck, actually. So her observations about Englishers' life and the way they celebrate Christmas are very, very funny, but it also opens up the door for mutual understanding of the beauty of that story, Jesus coming to earth, and what that means to the world, and what that means to all of these people involved. And ends up being a beautiful celebration of that event. Come join us in Shipshewana this year for a season full of great stories, wonderful characters you fall in love with, beautiful melodies, and a whole lot of fun.